Hey guys, what's up? We're back for another video. So I was looking at this video where Carlos King is interviewing Willie Colon from Bell Collective. Y'all know who Willie is, child. We're gonna go ahead and start watching now because I don't want to be up too late. It's already 8 o'clock. So we're gonna go ahead and tune in so that you guys can see what Willie had to say because he's supposed to be spilling some tea, honey, on some things that happened. Y'all know that there was a huge brawl that happened between Willie and Glenn, honey, aka Glendale. So we're gonna take a look at it, okay? Because I promised you guys that I would cover it. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right. We're gonna go ahead and take a look. Let's go ahead and make it bigger. Because Carlos is on there with him now. We're gonna go ahead and get into it now. Okay. Let me put my banner up. Everything said in the video is alleged. Let me start sharing. Hey guys, hey. Let me put my banner up. Everything said in this video is alleged, in my opinion, and is used for fair use and entertainment. Let's get into what Willie has to say because I'm interested now. I am interested now. Here we go. And let's share. How y'all doing? Happy Monday. Let's go.
To me, and they give it up for Willie Colon.
What's going on, guys?
Hello.
Willie. What's happening, man?
Hey.
How you feeling?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
We are happy to have you a part of Monday Night Live. So, Willie, we got to talk about the scene from Bell Collective that people are still talking about today. I first want to get Dustin and Jasmine's POV, and then Willie, I'm going to have you just take it away based on obviously you were there and your experience. So, Dustin, what did you think about the finale?
Yeah, well, listen, I have so many comments, but since we have Brother Colon in the building tonight, I just want to say it wasn't no surprise to me. Willie Colon is a Super Bowl champion. Hey. And if anybody is familiar with Willie on that field and in the NFL, Willie never played. No, he didn't take no shit in the NFL. He never played the radio with none of them niggas in the league. So I was not surprised to see that formidable showing, you know what I mean, of statesmanship. If that's even a damn thing, that's what it was. You know what I mean? Willie wasn't having it, and it was not a surprise to me. So listen, people emotions run high, and when you don't know people very well, when you don't have a lot of experiences where you're able to read people's emotions or kind of like see how people operate and move, sometimes misunderstandings can happen. And I definitely think what we saw was a result of a culmination of several misunderstandings. I don't think you like some of the jokes that were flying, and it's when you don't know people, there's a nuance you got to find. You know, I joke, I talk shit literally for a living, but there's a nuance of respect. There's a balance that you have to find when you're doing that with people that you don't have a rapport with, and sometimes that can lead you down a road, you know, a road, and that's what we saw on this week's episode. But shout out to Latrice and Cliff for opening up their business. You know what I'm saying? It was great to see those two businesses within walking distance of one another. I thought the aerial shots were really, really dope. And I also think that people forget that Aikisha is from Jackson. When you watch the show, you think about the wonderful businesses that you all have, you know, established here in New York City, the wonderful work that Aikisha has done in Jackson. You as an NFL Super Bowl champion, but people forget that Aikisha is from Jackson. So when you saw those people rallying around her, when you saw friends and couple, you know, cousins or whoever it was popping up, when you saw her people popping up, she's from Jackson. So you see that, and that's why we saw a lot of the additional characters we saw, and it was what it was. I definitely think it was a misunderstanding that kind of ballooned into, you know, just a hot moment for everybody.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Can I jump in real quick?
Go ahead, Jazz.
My observation, I think, Willie, from the time you got on here, I have family from the South, right? I'm from the Midwest, but there's always this preconceived notion of Northerners, right? Like you come in, you're the big, what they call you. He tried to call you a little fish and a little pond or whatever he said.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there is a little bit of an expectation that you're going to come in and think that you're better and smarter and faster than them because they are Southern, and Southerners kind of have somewhat of a reputation. And so I think from one of the first the first few interactions that I've seen of you with these men, they kind of were expecting you to like think less of them. And I think in some instances you displayed that a little bit, right?
Sure.
But I think this is what, like Justin said, it's a culmination of a bunch of misunderstandings. It's a culmination of maybe a little bit of insecurity on their end. And so they were waiting for a moment to be able to tag team you a little bit, right? Because I'm watching it and I'm like, oh, it's like a 2-on-1 thing, but it wasn't a 2-on-1 because your secret weapon was right there. Aikisha was like, oh, yeah, because if y'all don't fuck with my husband, I don't fuck with y'all either. And I love it. So shout out to her. I usually think like women, we should stay out of the men's stuff. But I think in that instance, like Dustin said, that's her city. That's where she's from. That was the perfect time and the perfect space for her to come in and really have your back. But I think that's all it really boiled down to, because it just sounded like they wanted to have a time where like they could make you feel small. And they don't have many instances where they're able to do that. So I think that's what that ended up being.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I don't think less Southerners. I just want to clear that. You know, my whole inspiration going into the season was, I realized after looking at social media and paying attention to some of the comments that had been said about me, that was the kind of narrative that really thinks he's holier than thou because of my resume, where I come from. That was never the case. You know, I'm like a mirror, man. What you give me, I give right back. If you cool, I'm cool. If you loving, I'm loving. But if you with the shit, I can get with the shits, right? And that's just how I'm built, you know. And I'm always going to draw the line because I think there always has to be a line. There always has to be a level of respect. But if you cross that line, I'm gonna be waiting to chew through your chest. That's just how I built since I was young. As far as my relationship with the guys, I realized that part of the disconnect was that I do live in New Jersey. You know, so I'm only with those guys when I'm shooting. And so part of the motive for this season was like, all right, I have a podcast. Supposedly they have a podcast. Like we're right here. This is the only forum where we can really just talk about stories, manhood, and really take a deep dive into each other. And as you've seen, they wasn't with that, right? They're just like, nah, fuck that. And so I extended the olive branch. And when it was thrown back in my face, I was like, well, I'm out of moves, right? Like we don't have each other's numbers. We don't talk. So the only thing I can offer is my platform. And even if you didn't feel comfortable on my platform, I'll come to your platform because I have nothing to hide. I really wanted to get to know the men. And I have been critical of everything that they have going on from a storyline, right? But that's all that's been given to me, right? Like if you rap in front of me and I don't like your rap, I don't like your rap, right? I said it. If your storyline's infidelity, then I'm just going with what you gave me. If you have trouble speaking like actual words and you leave that for me and we're going to go back and forth, then I'm gonna go at you, what you're giving me. So I don't do a deep dive into these guys. I'm only using what they project. And so with all that said, man, I was frustrated because it seemed like there was times where on camera, I think I try to extend myself. However, this is the pivot. Off camera, we were Gucci. Everything was cool because even the scene that we had at Nanos, shout out the people at Nanos in New Orleans. They were first of all, the staff was great, but when we stepped away from the cameras, Glenn and I talked man to man. We just had at it. I said, good. I see where you're at. You see where I'm at. Love. Cliff, when he's sober and he's clear-minded, he's a really good dude, right? Outside, I don't speak on other people's marriages because that's not how. But man to man, we cool. And so after that, and even after we left out of New Orleans, I'm getting in the car, JJ and I, with our wives. Glenn is like, hey man, you know, I'm about to hit up Bourbon Street. What y'all about to do? I'm like, I'm going to Jackson, man. I gotta get back to my babies. We dapped it up. We shook hands. It was love. There was no issues, at least on my part. It wasn't until 2 weeks later to the opening where I realized the energy and the negativity I was greeted with, and I didn't understand because when we got to Latrice's, I think, boutique shop with the hair stuff, right? You know, Glenn said some slick shit to me, but I was like, whatever. Because first of all, it was hot as hell. Like it was burning hot out there. My wife wasn't feeling well. We had to go pick up the kids. You know, we're dealing with trying to be on time for the event. We had a million things going on, so we were going back and forth. Nevertheless, when we arrived, man, you know, Glenn had some slick shit to say, and I really
remember what he said.
I think he was making fun of my because I just got shaped up and I got sprayed in and shit. So I think he said some slick shit like that. But when you married, man, and your wife is in your ass about being late, worrying about the kids, I wasn't paying attention to none of that. I was just kind of locked in. So with that said, man, as we kind of go through it, I noticed the energy was just different. I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what it is. Even JJ noticed it. Me and JJ are very honest with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Are you all right? He's like, but I knew he had a lot of shit going on with him. So I was just like, well, okay. And then when we arrived in Toast, Cliff greeted me at the door. I shook his hand. It was love, yada, yada, yada. And we went to the back of the restaurant where Cliff, I think, has a cigar bar. And for somebody that owns an establishment, I know how hard it is to get it off the ground.
Yeah,
right? You get a plan. It takes time. It takes a lot of things to get. So me and my wife, being two blacks, a black couple that supports black businesses, we were happy for them, right? My wife has always been, outside of the drama, always supportive of what Latrice has done, solely because we know how hard fucking business is. It is not easy, especially when you're taking a chance on yourself and you're investing in your name and what you're trying to bring to the table. So outside of that, we were happy with what they would been able to do. And so fast forward, we get to the cigar bar. I'm looking around with Jay. And when we leave out of there, I walk to the bar and I see Cliff. I'm like, hey, man, because he was talking to somebody. I was like, I just want to take the time. I said, congratulations. This is awesome. Beautiful place. Da. Great. And, he was drinking. And I could tell I've been around Cliff enough to know when he's getting a little saucy. So I was just like, cool. But this is his restaurant. Here's his time to celebrate. I'm not going to tell the man not to drink or how to drink. That's not what I'm there for. So fast forward, man, after I said, congratulations, awesome job, I step back. If you watch the scene, the women get to dancing, the drinks get to going, the food get to eating, and everybody's kind of relaxing themselves. Excuse me. And we get to the, obviously they set the scene up. And I realized, man, as I sat down, and obviously they showed the clip of Glenn slapping my hand away, something changed, right? I could just feel it. Like I realized like the odds were on me. It was, and I've never been in that position, especially not in the scene. I've always been like, whatever happens. We'll do our dialogue. And we kind of keep it pushing. And so I'm sitting next to my wife, JJ Gucci, on and on and on. And I can tell by their little, they didn't show it a lot of it because obviously they got to edit and do what they do. But I could tell they was gearing up, right? Like you could tell, like the mumbling, the other stuff. And I also know the other, we had two, I guess we call them castmates from Huntsville. Well, they're not castmates, but from other shows, they were there in attendance as well. I could tell their energy had spiked up. Like it was almost like they were showing off. And I was saying, oh, okay. I said, okay. Because Dustin, Jazz, Los, when somebody's 100 with you, right? When you just know, right? It doesn't have to be, right? When somebody's perking up or trying to show off in front of somebody. And so when we're going through our back and forth, I was like, oh, this is different. This isn't our normal whatever, especially Cliff standing up talking about fuck you. You ain't got money. You a small fish in a big pond. I'm Jesus. And I'm like, bro, you ain't never talked to me like that. Not one-on-one. I've been right next to you. I sat next to you. That ain't never been your energy. The most you've ever said was, Willie, I don't like you. Okay. What's next? That's the most you ever said. So for you to do that in your establishment, in front of my wife, in front of people I don't know, on my side of other people, I'm like, oh, y'all think I'm fish food. I said, okay, let's get this shit popping. And so there's this narrative running around that my wife and I showed up with 15 people. We showed up, first of all, it's a public event. My wife's family lives around the corner. I showed up with my niece and my sister-in-law. There was no 15 people. There was no entourage. None of that. And so I get frustrated because there's this running narrative that we showed up with a posse. I'm 6'3", 300 something pounds. If I wanted to tear shit up, I don't need women under 5'5" to tear shit up.
Come on.
Whoever that was in the pink had the heart of a 6'6", 335 pounds.
Okay, so
who
first
was
of
that
all,
in the pink, Willie? Because whoever that was,
I'm gonna keep it a buck. So this will happen.
Because we want to know if she was in the group Prime Mob.
Baby.
We want to know if she was Nuck, because she gave Nuck If You Buck, and she did
ride or die
like
down.
Willie, she was sitting on ready, standing on ready. What was who sent her, Willie?
But that's the thing.
What was going on, child?
Think about it. Nobody sent it, right? Tamara announced the thing on the radio.
Oh,
it
so
was public. She talked to my aunt. She's like, TT, I hear this thing going on around the corner from the crib. Can I come? She's like, yeah, it's public. You're going to be, the neighborhood's going to be here. Why not? Why wouldn't she invite her niece? Why wouldn't she invite her sister? By the way, who showed up in flip-flops? So if you really coming with smoke, you think we all will know what the hood look like. If you're gonna show up, you ain't showing up with slides. You showing up with at least a hoodie and some shit, ready to get it popped, right? And so fast forward, when I told Cliff to suck my nuts, excuse me, my bells.
Not my nuts.
When he stood up, I had smooth bottoms on. I didn't know what his intentions was, but you wasn't gonna rush me. I already know what time it was. So I stood up, and because we were on a platform, I stepped down. And one thing about me, man, bro, and this is what pisses me off, and this isn't and Los, you weren't there. My niece is she's a rider, man. She's a motherfucking rider. And when I look down the store next to me, I realized like it's on.
Well,
it was on. It just wasn't, because one thing I know about her, she don't talk it, she walk it. You know what I mean? She will crack a motherfucker quick. And after looking at everything that transpired, I don't feel proud about that scene.
Yeah,
I'm very embarrassed about that because as a man, my main goal is to protect the women in my life, between my wife, my sister, and everybody. And I was off my post because it doesn't matter if Glenn and I did squabble. I left 3 women vulnerable that was under my protection. And so I cringe at that because everything that did transpire in Toast, it bled outside. And that's when it got really crazy. And, I watched 8 girls jump on my niece, or at least try, right? And one of the girls turned to her like, when I see you, bitch, I'm gonna kill you. And that's all because I and I tell my wife this: when somebody controls your emotions, they control you. And I let my emotions get the best of me. And I know I have enough mental agility, enough wit to slap both of those dum-dums down, right? I know that. But I let my emotions go to a place that I left them exposed. Even with me living here, if there was retaliation, now they're exposed. Because at the end of the day, man, and Los, you weren't there. When I went to, once we kind of got everything calmed down, I was across the street and I was looking at Toast, and I was watching these people spill out this restaurant. And I was watching people go to their cars, and I'm watching people with intent in their eyes who don't play TV. They don't play TV. And so I'm looking at it like, man, Willie, you dropped the ball here. I blame me because I felt like I got to protect my wife at all costs. I got to protect them at all costs. And here we are doing exactly what I didn't want to do when I got the opportunity to join the show. I didn't want to be an example of this, right? And so I was embarrassed. I don't feel good about this. I didn't watch, I haven't watched it. I've seen it one time, and I'm not proud of myself. First of all, it's the maddest I've ever seen my wife. And I've done a lot of dumb shit. That was the maddest I've ever seen to tear shit up. And I was frustrated, man, because, I have, Dustin, and Jazz, I have a foundation, man. I talk to kids time after fucking time. All it takes is 30 seconds to ruin your life. And I was an exact example of what I tell kids not to be. And that pains me, man, because now that allows those kids who are hard to get to, well, Mr. Colon, this is you. So what do you tell? You let your emotions get the best of you. Because of what? Because of some name calling? And I did feel disrespected. I felt like they were coming at me. And I did feel like my back was pinned against the wall. And you're not going to embarrass me in front of my wife. You know what I mean? And I try to paint the picture at this. I have an establishment. If I was to invite them in my establishment and whatever we're celebrating, and I make it solely about disrespecting them in my bar, I expect them to have the same type of retaliation. Like, you invited me here for this bullshit?
I get that.
So I don't feel good about it because one thing, my wife, who I love to death, she's putting in the work, man. She cares about Jackson. Whether we're on the show or not, we're talking to law enforcement. She has the Ferris Forest Street Festival 2 years in a row where she brought in David Banner, Shaka from DTP, Dr. Jackie. She's exploiting Black businesses within this city. this isn't a storyline. I watch this woman, as much as my passion is football and sports, I watch this woman go sleepless nights trying to bring something to Jackson from a sense of positivity. We're walking into rooms talking to state officials. We're walking into talking to the chief of police. We're walking to people who have impact within our community, and I showed that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not happy with it. I'm upset about it. And I felt like, people want to give me and my wife validation for standing on business. I don't feel like I stood up for myself, sure. But I dropped the ball because my goal at the end of the day is to make sure my wife and my family get home safely, unscratched. And that situation was 5 minutes from being on the 5 o'clock news. And it's all because I control my emotions.
I think that's
right. I know I'm stronger than that.
It's great of you to say that. I think when we watch TV, we watch reality TV, we're looking for some level of drama, right? Like that's why we tune in. But to your point, this stuff has real world implications. There will people come in there that don't care about the cameras. They don't care that you guys are on TV. And like you said, it takes 30 seconds to ruin everything. So I love that you are saying that. And yeah, like I said, we got excited as viewers. But now hearing you talk about it, you're right. That is your place as a man, is to protect your family. You felt like they weren't protected. You left them vulnerable. I just really appreciate you saying that and really taking accountability for, wanting to stand up for yourself, but also realizing like you may have taken it a little too far and let it go a little further.
Well, I think I'd taken it. I felt like I had to say what I had to say because a lot of times when you see me on camera, I'm jokey or I throw shots and I kind of pivot. Glenn and Cliff, like my biggest issue with Glenn is I don't see Glenn when he's with Cliff. When you put me and JJ together, you acknowledge us as two individuals, right? And when I have conversations with Glenn, I see the man, and I appreciate the man, a 9-to-5 man who cares about his son and his family, and I applaud that. But when you put them together, I don't see him, and that frustrates me. As far as Cliff, like I said, when Cliff's sober and he's right-minded, he's easy to talk to for the most part. He actually is a quirky personality and he's smart-lipped. But I kind of get it. I like dry humor. But overall, man, I don't have no ill will towards those brothers. I'm more disappointed in myself because I know better. I know what responsibilities. Just like Carlos wears that crown, I wear a big crown. And at the end of the day, for me to possibly put my wife and my family in jeopardy, and knowing I got 2 babies to get home to, I'm better than that. I got to be better than that.
Mm-hmm.
So Willie, Glenn was legitimately offended by the jokes that you made in your interview scenes last season when he was performing a rap song for Letitia. That offended him.
Yeah.
Okay. I was surprised by that because I thought that the rap thing was like a hobby for him, and I didn't think that it was a serious, venture for him. I thought we all were watching that under the same, pretense. But he actually legitimately expressed to you that he was offended by that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And that was the start of that conflict.
I'm sorry.
He felt like people, like he said he felt like people were playing in his face. He felt like people were like tapping on the shoulder, like, hey, good job. And at the same time, he's reading social media and all the backlash. But I've always been consistent. I didn't like the rap. I don't like the person. What I mean? Shit, people don't like music all the time. So I didn't think much of it. And that's really it.
And listen, the reason why I want to make sure you were brought on to Willie is because, I wanted you to be able to address things in real time. What people know is that this Friday, so I know Christmas is Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It's Thursday?
It's Wednesday.
Okay. Christmas is Wednesday, and I know a lot of people think shows are on break. You will see part 1 reunion this Friday, December 27th of Bell Collective. And then the next Friday, you will see part 2 of the Bell Collective reunion as well. Willie and the men have their own segment because this was a very important conversation that I wanted to have with just the guys.
Right.
Because, and Willie, I think you can agree to this. When the men are with each other, it's a whole different energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, it was intentional for me to make sure that these Black men were able just to have a conversation where they were able to address things head on. And I'm not going to give anything away, but what I will say is it was a very important dialogue, and there was a lot of accountability that was taking place. You see Willie is doing it tonight in terms of, listen, the beauty of reality television too is this, and this is the reason why I always take up for just not my stars, but I take up for the genre in itself, is no one's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at yourself, we've all done stupid stuff. We all done stuff we wish we could not have done. What bothers me is, look, I know when you guys are on television, you're constantly judged, and you're judged for an action that happened in the moment. And that's why I appreciate Willie saying, like, look, I take responsibility for my actions. My job at the end of the day is to protect my wife and my children. And regardless of who started it, who finished it, I love the fact, Willie, that you said tonight, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because you have to go home to that. And you're working daily with your wife, trying to make sure to really bring things not only to Jackson, but in terms of your state of New York and New Jersey too. So again, I appreciate you for acknowledging that. And Willie gets more into it about that scene, but also just in terms of like when men Jones on each other, or when they joke with each other, and like Dustin was asking, like, was Glenn really that mad? The beauty of the men talking amongst themselves is, I always thought the men's jokes were funny, but you never know when someone takes things personally. So there's a lot of surprises that comes out of the reunion.
Yeah, like I hear you say that, but I grew up in the locker room, right? I grew up in the locker room, we're all alphas. You had to be able to stand up, either take it or tell somebody, nah, you crossed the line. And if you felt like they were still disrespecting you, then there's another level you have to take it to. So I've been in the locker room since I was 8 years old with my dad. And I've watched men go back and forth with jokes. The problem is, I'm a firm believer in body language. You know when you're taking it too far. And I felt like there was moments in that scene where, because I felt like Glenn knew me, or at least we were cool, he just said, listen, nah, we cool. Like, you know, there's moments like, nah, this is getting a little out. As a man, I felt like I'm taking it somewhere that that's not my intentions. I'm gonna say, nah, my bad, homie. We bullshitting. Let's party. Let's celebrate. You know, there's ways of getting around that. He didn't do it. And so, and what's wild about it too is that whole suck my nuts comment was directed at Cliff, right? But it was Glenn that jumped back. But when me and Glenn got into it, guess who's running? Cliff. So my thing is like, if y'all too bowdy, then be bowdy together.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Because I know if I'm jumping in for my man and my man's not standing next to me ready to go, then where's your loyalty at? And I've always told Glenn, I was like, man, your admiration, your loyalty to this guy, I think you got to be careful, dog. And I've always tried to talk life into Glenn. I've always been like, yo, dog, like you sure you sure about your friendship? And I've had those conversations with him, and he's always like, man, I'm on my own, man, and da da da. Cool, only you can be the judge of that. But I'm just telling you how I see it. And so, you know, and Cliff running with this narrative that my wife is jealous of Latrice. Lord, please stop, just please. Letitia, whoever that I heard that comment, please stop.
I think you're speaking to something that is really relevant and very important, right? That people take note of and discuss, right? I'm a Black man of a certain age, you know, and what you speak of, finding that balance of like you know what I'm saying? I'm a certain age. I come from Flint, Michigan, and I occupy certain intersections in life. I'm a gay man. I'm a Black man. You know what I'm saying? I work in entertainment and media. I occupy a lot of intersections in life where I'm faced with a lot of bullshit, and I have had to defend myself for many, many years. So much so that I built up what I know now through years and years of work and therapy to be an unreasonable defensiveness, right? That I should have been more aware of people's feelings. And now that I am, I work hard to kind of manage that, to be more attuned to people's feelings. Maybe it was something that triggered Glenn in whatever way. And you know, for whatever reason made him react that way. We don't know that unless he tells us. So you in that thing, you know, but at the viewers, we don't know. So we just see y'all doing y'all's thing, you know, and having the banter that typically people have with one another, and then things just go left. But it hit something hit right there for him. We don't know what it was, but it must have hit something.
He told you what it was, because I told him to suck my bells, right? He felt like that
Not
was disrespectful.
my bells.
He you know, he leans with the line like, well, you know, you can say that in Jersey, but you can't say that here in Jackson. Like, look, first of all, wherever I set my feet, I'm comfortable. I ain't never turned. I ain't never looked back for nobody. I don't move like that. I'm solid in my skin. So I knew what I was saying. I was saying it because I meant it.
You know what's so crazy though? I was talking about the comments about his performance. That's what I was talking about. That hit something for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
as far as that energy that showed up in that scene, and that's what we don't know. Like, what was it that made a regular joke, you know, that keeps the show interesting and the interview scene potent? What was it that triggered him to make him, you know, react that way regarding that comment? We don't know. So,
well, you will find out at the reunion, though.
Okay, good.
Because guess what? Good. I asked the questions and I can talk about it because I'm here. But Willie, before I let you go, I know it's Christmas week, and you know I thank you for taking time out to speak to us this evening. Tell your wife Aikisha I said hello to children.
Well, she's right here. She wants to talk.
Oh Lord.
What's up, Aikisha?
Hello.
Listen, Willie. Why am I not surprised? Hi, Aikisha.
Hello, everybody.
She's like, don't Aikisha me.
How cute are you? I love your ears.
Oh, thank you. I'm trying to get this house ready for these kids for the holidays.
Well, Aikisha, I got one last question for Willie. Okay, can he have his own shot, Aikisha? He didn't interrupt your interview with me.
Yes, he can. You can answer his question, and I'm gonna say what I have to say, and that's it.
Well, I have no questions for you. I love you, baby. Listen, Willie, the most important question of the night. You can say that, Aikisha. Come on, baby.
I'm letting you answer your question, boo.
Okay, you know, I love you so, Aikisha. How to Colon, baby. Okay.
That's right.
Willie,
come on now.
Everybody wants to know this one pressing question. Why did you cut off your locks?
Oh man, it was time, Carlos. Man, it was time. I sleep a lot cooler. I can move my damn neck. You know, I think the biggest struggle was I YouTube people cutting their locks, and a lot of people cry in the chair. They kind of have this breakdown, and a lot of people were like, "Listen, you carry your trauma in your hair," and which is true. I had lost my mother, I had lost my uncle, and I recently just lost my aunt in the last 6 years. On top of 4 years, right? On top of getting married and you know, and just a lot. It was just time, man, and I felt like I've been stewing on it for a long time, but I had to kind of just say, you know what, it's time for a new look, new change. And I'm happy about it. I'm happy because it's necessary for me because I got tired of sitting in the chair for 3 to 4 hours, getting it twisted, styled, shaped up. For 2 weeks, it's back to neutral. So, yeah, it was just time.
You like it, Aikisha? You like the, you know?
Yes, I love it. It's like getting a whole brand new man.
Hey,
brand new. So Aikisha, before I let you guys go, can you update us on everything going on with Ferris Street, your foundation, and all the many things you have going on?
Yes, I mean, it's all out there. The foundation's doing well. This is busy season for us. We just finished our Christmas in the Bronx, where we do a huge toy giveaway to Willie's community of the South Bronx at the NYCHA Classic Center, which is right in the projects where he was born and raised in Melrose Projects. We're getting ready for our HBCU College Fair. Also for our health fair that's going to be in Jackson, Mississippi. So Sophia and I are coming together to do the second annual health fair, and we have some panelists, and we're doing a brunch, and we are focusing on heart health, vascular health, and menopause health. And it's in February, so it's going to be amazing because so Gucci's mom died of a heart attack along with cancer. My mother died of massive heart attack. Her twin sister died of a heart attack. Willie's mom had a heart attack associated with lupus and lost her. And then her twin sister died in the beginning of the year. So we are really focusing on women's heart health, vascular health, and correlating how menopause associates with heart health. Yeah. So we're going to do that. And but anyway, I just wanted to step in. I am excited that Bell Collective has been picked up for another season. I got my pickup letter. And
I know that's right.
We were excited about that, and we want to congratulate Carlos, and we want to congratulate the show. And thank you for allowing us to be a part of the platform. But unfortunately, we will not be returned. So just wanted to say that.
Ooh,
the colognes are done.
Carlos. Like, bitch.
So thank y'all and Merry Christmas. And our attorney has sent a letter to the attorneys of Kingdom Reign. So just want to let y'all know. Because I didn't want Carlos to find out any other way.
Ooh.
Well, listen, thank you so much for everything you brought to the show. You know, you
Thank
have
you.
a friend in me,
Wow.
a family in me as well. And anything you guys need, you know, let me know. And as you know, anytime you want to return, the door will always be open for you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you for having
Carlos.
us. Merry Christmas to everybody. And thank
Same
you.
Much
to
love to
you.
your
It was
beautiful
so good
family.
seeing you guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Damn.
Okay.
Oh, they
Monday night, y'all.
They just
Was that
Monday
a
Night
off.
Live.
Did,
That was an exclusive.
They quit and hopped off.
That was the
Damn.
message of Monday. That was the
I'm
message.
goofed and gagged.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm like, what, how do I react? I didn't know if you what oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. Well,
All
so the
right.
funny thing is, this is a reality show. Carlos
Yeah.
has built a beautiful empire following the reality, and what we just saw was the reality of that situation. So kudos to everybody, and you know, Carlos is a consummate professional, as we see, and that's how we handled that with grace. And shout out to the Colones, a beautiful family that
Yes.
you
No,
know
they're
we got a
gorgeous
chance to
family.
get to know. Yeah.
Yes. No, they're a gorgeous family. They're great for the show, and they will be missed for sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, the thing about Monday Night Live is it's always full of surprises.
Yes, it
So
is.
let's you like surprise.
Surprise,
right.
Carlos. Wait, that means there's a vacancy. Should I move to Jackson?
Girl, bye.
Would you ever
Ooh.
Like my dad
you
is
know,
from Columbus,
Jasmine?
Mississippi. I mean, I have Mississippi blood. Like, let me know. I'll move over to Fair Street.
Jasmine, I will take you on any reality show in the world. That's how much I love you.
I'm way too boring for it. I'm just joking.
No, oh, please. Jasmine, you're a lot of things. Boring is not one of them on the docket. Trust
At
and believe
all.
that. Okay, so let's get into Huntsville.
Yeah.
Now, look, we have to talk about the episode. Did you guys catch up on it?
You know I did. I'm completely
Mhm.
caught up. And damn, what an episode. That's all I have
Dustin,
to
where would
say.
you like
Yes.
to begin?
Yes, go ahead, Dustin, because I feel like you have a lot to get
Ooh,
out.
I
Oh,
do,
God.
because everybody knows that as we've done commentary on these shows, I have been consistent with my declaration that I don't like no shit between the core six. I just don't like it. I feel like the truths that they called, that the ladies called, right, that trickled down and kind of bled through to the other relationships where they would have transparency with each other, sit down and be adults and talk about shit. I want to see them hold fast to that. And what I saw in tonight's episode just didn't seem like that's what that was. I thought that when Melody and Kimmy talked about the conversations that Melody had with some of the other cast members regarding Maurice's incident, the arrest, the DUI, the allegations of the lipstick, I didn't like seeing her and Kimmy not be able to communicate effectively in that setting. I felt like Kimmy was trying to be clear and kind of have a certain dialogue with Melody that Melody was resistant to, because Melody felt like she had already approached Kimmy to discuss this, and Kimmy was resistant in that conversation. I think Melody perceived Kimmy's inability to discuss some of the, you know, specific details related to the arrest as her kind of putting a wall up. And so Melody kind of, it seems that Melody felt like, well, I tried, you know, to come to you with it. And that was kind of her disposition, where she was resistant to continue the conversation. But it's a give and take. And in order to sustain relationships, we have to see a little bit more giving on both ends in order to make that move forward. So I really hope that after whatever we see at the reunion, and after the emotions have kind of settled from watching that those two ladies specifically can find a bridge, you know, to reconnect with each other, because that's one relationship. Melody and Letitia have had very, you know, real and blatant issues, tangible issues. Melody and Marceau have had their issues. Melody and Maurice have had conversations where they had to clear things up. But Melody and Kimmy, for the most part, up until now, we have seen them keep things at a certain level, right? They have not, you know, gone below a certain level. I didn't like seeing it because I really love both of them on this show. So I hope they figure it out. I did like the way the conversation ended when Melody said, you know, your feelings matter. This conversation matters, and you don't have to hear that from anybody else that I said this, anything else pertaining to these details moving forward. That's all you ask for at the end of the day is the end result. But I would have liked to see a friendlier path to that if possible. As far as Marquez, a bunch of the same. You know what I'm saying? Sitting up, blaming everybody else for everything else that's going on. Is getting old and tired. I know Trisha is sick of it. And now we know why Trisha just be looking at motherfuckers in the scene like, now we know because she has had it. How many conversations can you take? You know, it's just getting ridiculous at this point because there's nothing to be said other than the fact that you left your family. Okay, if the relationship between Marquez and Trisha didn't work out, damn it, it didn't work out. But you abandoned your post as a present father facilitating the lives of your children, and you left those responsibilities in the hands of another man who picked them up and did them well. Okay, Ken has showed himself to be nothing but a positive influence on them children's lives. Okay, they stopping you from your bullshit. That Trisha's son, who looked just like her, they have beautiful children, by the way, Trisha and Marquez. When her son walked over there and he said, "Dad, come on, man, why are you over there talking to them like that?" I don't have no kids, but if my son said some shit like that to me, that would have been a wake-up call. That would have rung my bell. You know what I'm saying? It made me be like, whoa, I'm tripping. Let me recalibrate all this shit up in here, starting with going to the store and getting some paper towel and cups and ice and liquor for that party that he was drinking up and enjoying and had came in with his palms up and friends. So there's just some resetting that needs to take place with that whole Marquez, Trisha, Ken relationship. And I was watching the conversation go down the same way Ken's mama and sister was sitting at that table, like the camera cut right to them ladies sitting at that table. Just that's how I was watching it too.
Dustin and his impressions always sits me over.
They're always so funny.
Jazz, it sits me over the edge. Okay, know that. Jasmine, what's your take? Because Jasmine has been in and out of Huntsville for a minute. So, did you catch up on this episode?
I did. So, I have major feelings about like the Melody and Kimmy conversation, and Millimeters, please don't crucify me for this, right? Melody has a way of communicating with people, and I've said, Carlos, I think I've told you this, that I've picked up on this with her from like the very first season. Is very like nice, nasty, and passive aggressive, right? And so like it puts people on a defensive because they're like, why? Like, you know that you did this thing or you said this thing, and now I'm like confronting you head on about it, and you're just sitting there like, right? Or you're dodging the question, and that makes people like really, really defensive. And so, like you said, Dustin, I didn't like to see where her and Kimmy were with that conversation because I felt like Kimmy was really trying to get somewhere and Melody wasn't. It's the same thing with that conversation that Melody was having with Maurice. It was like really accusatory, but then when he was just like, why are you doing this? It was like, I'm not doing that. Like throwing the rock and hiding your hands within the same conversation. And it's just like, Mel, if you would just like take accountability in the moment, the conversations would go much smoother. I feel like that's how a lot of these conversations on Huntsville in particular get blown out of proportion, is because somebody within the conversation doesn't want to take accountability right in the moment, and it turns into something else. And so that's like what I witnessed. But I think that Mel, to her credit, she's gone through so much on this show. Like she's been embarrassed beyond, right? I would not wish what she's gone through on my worst enemy, right? Well, maybe my worst enemy, but she's been through a lot.
Jazz.
Listen, I try not to, but my worst enemy,
I don't give a damn.
all the drama, right? Okay. Yeah. But yeah, she's been through so much and she's been embarrassed to no end on this show. I think that there's a little part of her when it's someone else's turn to be embarrassed. There's like a little bit of like, okay, I like amplify this the way that my embarrassment has been amplified. And I'm not saying that she's a bad person. I think that's a very human reaction for somebody who's gone through the things that she's gone through. But that's like what I pick up a lot on with Mel. And so I know like when Maurice was talking about her getting her healing and stuff, he wasn't sincerely saying it. I really do feel like that's what I want from Mel. Like I want her to truly like be healed of like everything. And be able to have these people to lean on. Go ahead.
No, it's just so the Melody conversation is so interesting because it's such a nuanced conversation, right? I feel like we know what happened, right? Like Martell cheated on Melody, publicly embarrassed her, told lies on the show, all that shit happened. And that was a very clear point in her. That was a very clear marker, timestamp in her life. I think that after that, people on the show may have attempted to have to exhibit some sort of fairness in the world, that they had to figure out how to still work with everybody. And I think that that may have been received by her as some sort of betrayal. And when you've been wrong, blatantly wronged by somebody, and you see other people who have an opportunity to kind of take a side, but may not take it in a way that is egregious toward you or the other person, who sometimes people just seek neutrality and try to maintain it. Sometimes that can build up resentment. And we see Melody in situations where I wish that sometimes there will be a conversation where she would just say, look, when I went through all that shit with Martell, there was an opportunity for you to really hold me down and kind of identify his wrongdoing and support me. And I don't feel like you did it, and it hurt my feelings. And it is making it hard for me to show up fully in this friendship. That would clear up a whole lot of stuff. So I understand Melody, you know what I mean? And but as a viewer of the show, and as just a human being, grown as man, sometimes you do have to bend a little bit when the sustainability of relationships is the focus, right? And that's why I appreciated the truce that the ladies called amongst each other. That's why I appreciated that conversation we saw when Melody went to the Scotts, to Letitia and Marceau, about the text that Martell sent her, attempting to create those problems. Melody went, they had a beautiful conversation, nullified the whole thing and moved forward. So much so that Marceau said, I am so glad you came back here today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I just want to see more of that. And I know it's hard when you feel like somebody did you wrong and everybody's ignoring this wrong that was done to me. It's difficult to kind of usurp that with your own good sense, but sometimes you just have to. And that's why I hate seeing the core six argue, because they really could find that. They could find that connection again, but hell, the way things going now, you never know. You never know what's going to be next with them.
That's a beautiful point. There's a layer of transparency that needs to be present for all of them. Yeah, no, I love that. I love that point.
And on top of that, we do have additional episodes later this season that you guys will be able to catch up. And you'll be able to see some moments of rapport that I think the audience kind of wants to see. I mean, look, it's one of those things where, and I think it was Kimmy's episode where we talked about this. The interesting thing about reality TV is when you're filming a show in real time and episodes are airing while you're filming, it can sometimes present a bunch of challenges. That's just one example to give out of many, in terms of in the real time, you guys could maybe be at a great place, but once you see something aired, then you're back to that place too. So I think, you know, when you see this upcoming reunion, you'll be able to see them talk about things that and when I say to you, they really, really
go there.
They go there with each other. They really, because the thing with the core six is they had I think a 5-year, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just say 3 to 5 years. I think it's 5 though. A 3 to 5 year friendship before we started filming. So they have a long history on, you know, their journey before cameras were presented. So I will say this, and I've always said this in every reunion. There is this unspoken, I mean, I'm saying this now based before what happened, you know, recently, but there've always been like this level of respect they have with each other. They can go at it and throw shade and all that stuff, but I always felt that fundamentally there was always room for love there. So again, keep watching. You'll be able to see some of that. And Love and Marriage Huntsville also is on this Saturday. So I know people are having a break. So as you sip your eggnog, honey, make sure you tune in Friday to Bill Collective Power Reunion, and make sure you also tune in Saturday for another episode of Huntsville. And I have a surprise for the Raindrops.
You got a surprise.
More surprises?
Think about Monday.
You had a surprise too.
Listen, that's the reason why you guys have to watch Monday Night Live in real time. It's a live show. You never know what's going to happen, and that's the beauty of this platform. Things happen with it. You deal with it. So, a surprise for the raindrops. You guys have been asking for this for many, 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 many weeks. And I could not do an episode with Jasmine and Dustin without talking about Potomac and Married to Medicine. So this is another gift that I'm giving you guys, as this is our final Monday Night Live in 2024. So I wanted to give y'all some gifts. We are going to discuss Potomac and Married to Medicine.
Yeah.
Look, I'm trying.
I guess we should have some heart-shaped balloons. We should release heart-shaped balloons right now, right? 8 of them.
Yes.
What the hell was that?
Yes. Okay, so let's get into Potomac, and I want to start off by saying this first about Potomac.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you people have been trying to read me as it pertains to Mia. Okay. Some of you can first of all, Jasmine, why did you get your
I don't know if I want to hear this part of the show. Oh, I really don't.
Okay. Some of y'all are trying to throw me shade talking about what I said to you, Jasmine and Dustin. You know I get blamed for everything. I mean, it's part of being Carlos King.
Heavy is the head.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown, and God bless me with the last name King for a reason. So let's get into it. And by the way, this is the most views that we've got in a single live. We are at 3,500 live viewers.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Hey guys.
So hi guys, and I can't wait to see all the reports that's happening tomorrow. Thank you to all who have joined. Okay, I've been seeing some of y'all trying to read me about Mia. Carlos hyped Mia up. Thinking she was a star of the show, and she failed miserably. Blah 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 blah. Okay, I would like to say this, and I want to hear from Dustin and Jasmine. I stand by Mia being a star. I stand by Mia be lying, right? The name that I gave her, that she ran with it and did wonderful things with that name. The thing is this, when you are somebody that is the most talked about on the show, and we'll get into the specifics, right, tonight. Okay. I wanted to say overall, Mia is exactly what I said she was. Because the only person, and Jasmine and Dustin, y'all tell me if I got this wrong. The only person we're talking about when it comes to Potomac is Mia, whether it's good or bad, right? Whether it's good or bad. Mia is the person we're talking about. So my accuracy in saying that, listen, she's the one that people talk about, again, whether it's good or bad, and we'll get into that. But without Mia, nothing would be happening. Just like I said the same thing about Tamra. On OC, like her, love her, without Tamra, nothing would be happening. And again, I don't excuse things that Tamra's done. And I'm not excusing things that Mia has done. We're about to get into it.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say that. But I want Jasmine to go first with this Potomac episode and just your overall thoughts. So first things first, what are your thoughts on Mia Thornton this season, Jazz?
I think to your point, she is the most talked about, but not in a good way. Like I leave every episode and I'm just like, what is she doing here? Like what are we doing right now?
These are the same thing about you.
Where do I start? Right? Mia do be lying. Mia, I don't like what she's doing with Gordon and his mental illness. It's always like blown out of proportion. She's using it as a crutch for her very bad behavior right now. She's using it as a crutch for her just being confused in what she wants to do. I hate that her children are involved. I mean, these are sentiments that everyone has shared. What I noticed in this last episode, I'm so glad that Wendy clocked it and called it out, because this is Giselle and Mia. Like, Giselle, I was waiting for you to really like give Mia some fever, and you softballed that, her talking about your children and not being them not being perfect, and divulging information to us that we weren't even privy to as an audience, about them trying to sneak boys in. Like, she was trying to like out her daughters for being fast or something like that. You have more smoke and fever for Candace or for Mia, not Mia. What's the child's name? Wendy and Candace. Okay, for making faces that you couldn't even confirm were being made about your child, but you softball Mia. I don't like it. I don't know. I get to this point all the time with Potomac. You know this. We've talked about this. We get to a point in the season where I'm just like, what am I doing here? I keep tuning in because something about it keeps bringing me back, but I don't like the way that it makes me feel after I stop watching it. This season has been a lot better than past seasons. I'll say that there's been a little bit of a lightness to it, but Mia, for me, again, she can go. She can go. And I don't care that you think without her nothing would be happening in the season. We would be able to see other storylines. We would be able to see other things. We will get to, I don't know, Karen will give us something. Mia can go for me.
But let me ask you this before Dustin gets in. What is it that Mia's doing to where you think she should go? Now, listen, it's one of the things where I always say this to people. It's one thing that, okay, you had a bad season, right? Or like, I don't like some of the things you're doing this season. But Jazz, explain to me and the audience, why do you think she should like leave the show or be removed from the show? Like, what is it about Mia where you are just going beyond just saying, okay, girl, I don't mess with you, but no, you're saying like Mia has to go?
I don't say she has to go. She can go. Like, if she was not coming back next season, I would not ask for her to come back. I wouldn't think about it. I don't like what she's doing with Gordon's mental health. Like, that's really rubbing me the wrong way, and I feel like that's being like downplayed a little bit in the grand scheme of the conversation around Mia. It feels really insincere. He's in mania. Like, I don't know. I can't fully articulate to you why she can go for me, right? And I think maybe that's, to your point, why she's a great character for this show, because I just feel like she can go, but I can't really tell you why. I'm just not a fan of it. She has her moments where I think she brings some comedic timing, but it's not enough for me to like sit here and say I'm a fan, that she's essential to the show. I don't feel like she's essential. I feel like there's a way to exploit her story that's making her seem like an essential figure, but she is not an essential figure of the cast, and that's just how I feel.
Okay. Dustin, your thoughts?
Nice house, no furniture on the inside. That's what I think when it comes to Mia. Now, here's my thing. Yes, you can do something that is conversation worthy. You know what I'm saying? But where is the fundamental value of it? Mia is not funny. She says things sometimes that, you know, are in beat or in step with whatever the story was at that time that are humorous, but she ain't funny just naturally. She don't be in her confessional saying shit to make you laugh. We don't believe nothing about anything that she says beyond her just lying. Like the peculiar, odd nature of what's going on in her life is less than believable. I hate that blonde hair on her with a passion. I think she looks so much better with dark hair. I do think she's a beautiful woman, but she dresses cheap. And sometimes that affects your perception of these people when we're watching the fucking Housewives, right? We want to see something that is aspirational or whatever. Look at somebody like Wendy, right? There's a lot to say. Let's dial back to what you said, Jasmine, about Giselle and her reaction to Wendy speaking negatively about her daughter versus the way that she has reacted to Wendy in the past. Giselle still can't stand Wendy. They're obviously, which we all knew, that's no surprise. They're obviously playing nice to get along for the sake of the show, and thank God for that, because that is what we need from people who are
the majority rule. I thank y'all for the ones. Okay, I was like, oh Jesus, I don't know how they feel about this, so we're gonna read the room, baby. And everybody is saying one, they are over this, because really, let me get back to my main screen, stop sharing, because really Aikisha and Willie, honey, they really Aikisha and Willie really just put it down like it needed to be put down. Like that little firing was what we needed. Okay, shit, I'm just like, that was the best part of the damn show. They said play Aikisha and Willie again. Hold on. Ooh, child. It was like Aikisha just could not wait to be like, look, bitch, we're out of here. Like, we did not come here to stay. Okay, let me share again. Y'all so damn messy. So I play it again. We'll hear Aikisha and Willie. We'll hear Aikisha do her mic drop, honey, one more time, and then we're going to get out of here. All right, y'all ready? Okay, hold on. All right, it's coming up. There we go. All right, so here's Aikisha and Willie quitting the show, child. You could tell it was all over Aikisha's face. Let's go.
How cute are you? I love your ears.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm trying to get this house ready for these kids for
Look
the
at her face.
holidays.
She ain't feeling it.
Well,
Mhm.
Aikisha, I got one last question for Willie. Okay, can he have his own shot, Aikisha? He didn't interrupt your interview with me.
Yes, he can. You can answer his question. I'm gonna say what I have to say, and that's it.
Well, I have more questions for you.
No, you don't.
I love you, baby. Listen, Willie, the most important question of the night. You can say it, Aikisha. Come on, baby.
I'm letting you answer your question, boo.
Okay, you know,
Now,
I
hurry
love
up
you,
so we can
Aikisha, honey.
quit.
Come on, baby. Okay,
That's right.
Willie, everybody wants to know this one pressing question. Why did you cut off your locks?
Oh man, it was time, Carlos. Man, it was time. I sleep a lot cooler. I can move my damn neck. You know, I think the biggest struggle was I YouTube people cutting their locks, and a lot of people cry in the chair. They kind of have this breakdown, and a lot of people were like, "Listen, you carry your trauma in your hair," and which is true. I had lost my mother, I had lost my uncle, and I recently just lost my aunt in the last 6 years. On top of 4 years, right? On top of getting married and you know, and just a lot. It was just time, man. And I felt like I've been stewing on it for a long time, but I had to kind of just say, you know what, it's time for a new look, new change.
Doing all right.
And I'm happy about it. I'm happy it's necessary for me because I got tired of sitting in the chair for 3 to 4 hours, getting it twisted, styled, shaped up. For 2 weeks, it's back to neutral. So yeah, it was just time.
You like it, Aikisha? You like the, you know?
Yes, I love it. It's like getting a whole brand new man.
Come on.
Ooh.
Oh,
So
man.
Aikisha, before I let you guys go, can you update us on everything going on with Ferris Street, your foundation,
She about to
and
let
all
you
the
go.
many things you have going on?
Yes, I mean, it's all out there. The foundation's doing well. This is busy season for us. We just finished our Christmas in the Bronx, where we do a huge toy giveaway to Willie's community of the South Bronx at the NYCHA Classic Center, which is right in the projects where he was born and raised in Melrose Projects. We're getting ready for our HBCU College Fair. Also for our health fair that's going to be in Jackson, Mississippi. So Sophia and I are coming together to do the second annual health fair, and we have some panelists, and we're doing a brunch, and we are focusing on heart health,
Carlos.
vascular health, and menopause health. And it's in February, so it's going to be amazing because so Gucci's mom died of a heart attack along with cancer. My mother died of massive heart attack. Her twin sister died of a heart attack. Willie's mom had a heart attack associated with lupus and lost her. And then her twin sister died in the beginning of the year. So we are really focusing on women's heart health, vascular health, and correlating how menopause associates with heart health.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that. And but anyway, I just wanted to step in. I am excited that Bell Collective has been picked up for another season. I got my pickup letter. And
I know that's right.
we were excited about that, and we want to congratulate Carlos, and we want to congratulate the show. And thank you for allowing us to be a part of the platform. But unfortunately, we will not be returned. So just wanted to say that. The colognes are
Carlos.
So thank y'all and Merry Christmas. And our attorney has sent a letter to the attorneys of Kingdom Reign. So just wanted to let y'all know, because we didn't want Carlos to find out any other way.
Well, listen, thank you so much for everything you brought to the show. You know,
Thank
you have
you.
a friend in me, a family in me
Ciao,
as well. And anything you guys need, you know, let me know. And as you know, anytime you want to return, the door will always be open for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Baby, the door gonna be open to that attorney's office. That's what you need to be worried about. What's in that damn letter? Shit.
Carlos.
Merry Christmas to everybody, and thank you.
Same
For
Much love to your beautiful family.
you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Damn. The abrupt leave. Hey, the mic drop and then the leave real quick. Just click off, not buy nothing. Carlos' face is cracked, y'all. Oh my God. Hold on. Look how he looking.
Okay.
Oh, they
Monday night, y'all.
Was
Monday
that
night. That was an exclusive.
Oh,
Yeah, that was the message this Monday. That was
I'm
the message.
gooped and gagged.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? How do I react? I didn't know if he. What? Oh my goodness.
Girl, be quiet. That's how you react. But that's our show for the night. Okay, we ain't about to go with the child. That was the best part of the show, right? Oh, child, it looked so nice. We had to play it twice. Thank y'all so much. Said Carlos drunk. Damn. Oh, Belle Wilson came in, y'all. Tyra and Scorpion. Miss Honey, thank y'all for your good modding tonight, child. Thank you so much, Chef, for stopping by. Snatched by Diego, I saw you in the chat as well. True TV Podcast, Purple Unicorn, Aries Girl Podcast, Deary Talk Show, Messy Hoes Atlanta, Boss Lady Brand, Girlfriend Chronicles, Kim K, and Love Seen Heard. Thank y'all for being here tonight. All right, please don't forget to like the video, share the video, and subscribe to our channel, honey, up over here so that y'all can be privy to all information that we have in videos, okay? Yes, and let me go ahead and drop this link right quick for those of you that are down to help support our petition that we have out for cyberbullying. Please run on over there and sign. Thank y'all for being here. I appreciate you all. And in the meantime and in between time, I will see you guys in the morning for Car Chronicles. All right, love you guys down, and bye.